Yes. So this is my 31st video on real analysis in the playlist of UPSC Maths Optional. So far what we are doing is we have been solving the previous year's question papers on UPSC Maths Optional from real analysis. So in that way we have finished 2018, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12 and 11, right? So far we have finished at almost 8 question paper, I think. So now what we are going to do is we are going to move on to the next question paper, which is 2010, right? So in 2010 there are 5 questions from 2010. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish the first and second question in this video, and I'm going to play a separate video for third problem, and then there will be 4 and 5 problem combined as a single video, right? So part 31 will be the solutions for problem 1 and problem 2, and part 32 will be the solution for problem 3, and part 33 will be the solution of problem 4 and problem 5. So the problem 1 and problem 2 are from a single concept, which is from a convergence of a sequence, right? So we have already solved some similar problems based on convergence of sequence. So you can pause this video, and I think in 2018 we have solved a similar problem based on convergence of sequence. There we have x1 is equal to 2, I think. I don't know. You please refer the question now. The same question, but the values here are different. X1 and this number are different. So we want to show that the sequence is converges to 1 plus root 17 by 2. So I always recommend you to watch from part 1 to part 30, because I have solved several problems based on convergence of sequence. And that problem I have explained what is meant by convergence of sequence using definition, right? So if you straight away watch this video, you think I'm not explaining what is meant by convergence, etc., then you will have a negative opinion on me. So what I will recommend is that you watch from part 1 to part 30, because this is part 30th video. If you watch straight away this video, I'm sure that you will not follow my videos. So kindly watch from part 1, right? Yes. So we know when a sequence is convergent, right? So what is the convergent? After some stage, if all the numbers approach a certain number, then we say that number is a limit of the sequence, right? And then I have quoted two theorem, important theorem. A monotonically increasing sequence which is bounded above is convergent, and monotonically decreasing sequence which is bounded below is convergent. So based on the two results, we have solved one problem based on the same problem, but the numbers are different here, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show that this sequence is monotonically increasing or decreasing according to the nature of the problem, and I'm going to see whether it is bounded above or bounded below according to the nature of the problem, and then I'm going to use the result to show that the sequence is convergent. Yes, right? Yeah. So I'm going to solve 1 and 2 problem in this video alone, so you don't skip the video, right? And don't think I'm solving only one problem in this video. I'm going to solve 2 problems in this video. So let us analyze the sequence. So we know that these two results, that is theorems. So a monotonically increasing sequence which is bounded above. First you want to show the sequence is convergent, then only we can able to find the limit, right? So monotonically increasing sequence which is bounded above is convergent. So you know this result. And similarly a monotonically decreasing sequence which is bounded below is convergent. So according to these two results, I'm going to show that this sequence is convergent. So it is given that x1 is equal to 5. Now what will be our x2? It is nothing but square root of 4 plus x1, right? 4 plus x1. So which is nothing but 4 plus 5. So which is 9. So which is equal to 3, right? So what will be our x3? It is square root of 4 plus x2, right? I'm just plugging here 2. So if I plug here 2, you will have, so this is n is equal to, if n is equal to 1, it is given, right? If n is equal to 1, we will have x2 is equal to 1 plus 1 will be 2. This will be 4 plus x1. So this will be if n is equal to 2. x3 will be square root of 4 plus x2. So our x2 is nothing but 3, which will be root 7. So let us say it is approximately equal to 2.5, because root 9 is 3 and root 4 is 4. So root 7 will be somewhere in between 2 and 3. So what will be our x4? it will be again square root of 4 plus x3. So let us say this is 4 plus 2.5 approximately. This is 6.5, and again you see that this is approximately 2.3 or 2.4 something, etc. Now you can see that it is monotonically decreasing sequence, right? It's a decreasing sequence. So this is an arrow mark, and again this is also a decreasing sequence. So therefore our xn is always greater than or equal to xn plus 1. So this means it is monotonically decreasing sequence, right? So it is decreasing sequence. So I have shown that it is a decreasing sequence. Now what I want to show is it is bounded below. So if it is bounded below means all the number has to be greater than or equal to this number. Now surely you can clearly see that this all the xn's will always be greater than or equal to 2, right? Because you take this exercise. So if you have watched the 2018 video, I'm sure that you will do this in your own. So you can see that our minimum value is 2. So whatever this xn may vary, it will be somewhere close to 0. So even if this is somewhere close to 0, our maximum value will be root 4. Root 4 is nothing but 2, right? So we can see that our all the value will always greater than or equal to 2. Even for x 1000, even for x 10 lakh, you find this, you will get always it will be greater than or equal to 2, right? Because the quantity which is changing here is this quantity, right? This quantity. So even this quantity change, even so since it is decreasing, so it cannot be negative, right? Because it is a positive terms. So even if this term came near to 0, the minimum value will be root 4, which is 2. So therefore our sequence is always greater than or equal to 2. So therefore this sequence satisfies the 2, right? That is a monotonically decreasing sequence. It is bounded below. So therefore it will be convergent, right? Yeah. Yes. So the sequence xn is monotonically, the sequence x1 is monotonically decreasing and bounded below. So therefore it is convergent. This convergent. So therefore our limit n tends to infinity xn is equal to some L. So we know if limit xn tends to L, then a limit n tends to infinity xn plus 1 will always be equal to L, right? So the important result is if the sequence is convergent, then all subsequents also converge to the same limit, right? So if xn converges to L, right, then its subsequence, let us say the subsequence may be x2n or x2k plus 1, all are subsequence. Subsequence also converges to the same limit. So therefore xn plus 1 is also converges to a same limit. So what is our sequence now? It is given that x1 is equal to 5 and xn plus 1 is equal to square root of 4 plus xn. This is our sequence. Now if I apply n tends to infinity here, we need to find the limit, right? So limit n tends to infinity xn plus 1 is equal to limit n tends to infinity square root of 4 plus xn. So if I bring limit inside, so we will have is L is equal to square root of 4 plus L, right? So as L tends to infinity, this will be 4, which will remain constant. So we will have 4 plus L. So if I squaring on both sides, we will have L square is equal to 4 plus L. So if I simplify this, I will have L square minus L minus 4 is equal to 0, which is nothing a quadratic equation. So if we solve this, we will have minus of minus 1 plus or minus b square. So minus 1 square minus 4 into a into c by 2 into a is equal to 0. So this is our roots for L. So this means L is equal to, 1 plus or minus square root of 1 plus 16 by 2. So this means our possible value for limit is L is equal to 1 plus root 17 by 2 or L is equal to 1 minus root 17 by 2. If this is possible, then you can see this is a negative limit, right? This is a negative because root 17, suppose root 16 is 4, so root 17 will be greater than 4, so 1 minus 4 will be minus 3, so minus 3 by 2 will be negative quantity. But our sequence is a positive terms, right? Our sequence are positive terms. You can see that it cannot converge to a negative limit, right? So since our sequence are positive terms, we don't have negative terms in our sequence, so this is not possible. So our limit of the sequence is nothing but what? So therefore our limit n tends to infinity xn is 1 plus root 17 by 2. That's it. This is what we have to prove. So the sequence converges to 1 plus root 17 by 2. So these are very easy problems, right? So we have solved many problems based on convergence of sequence. So similarly we will prove the second problem also. So what the second problem is, discuss the convergence of the sequence xn where xn is equal to sine n pi by 2 by 8, right? So we don't have a recursive formula here because all the sequence that we have seen so far is based off recursive formula, right? Recursive formula is nothing but they will give x1 and for xn plus 1 they will give some formula. So from that formula we have to find recursively the x1, x2, x3 value. But here we have only one single sequence which is sine n pi by 2 by 8. Now we want to show whether the sequence is convergent or divergent. Now, so that's just now I have said if a sequence xn converges to L, right, then all its subsequence also converges to L. These are very important theorem, converges to L, right? So for example, let us say sequence 1 by n. So this converges to what? This converges to 0. Let us take a subsequence 1 by 2n, 1 by 4n. All are subsequence, right? All are subsequence. So subsequence nothing but a subset, right? Subset of a sequence. So you can see this sequence also converges to 0. This sequence also converges to 0. This sequence also converges to 0. So what we can conclude from theorem is that if all its subsequence has the same limit point, then its sequence will also have a same limit point, right? Now the important information that we can derive from this theorem is that if the subsequence has different limits, if the subsequence has different limits, then the sequence cannot converge. It's an important result. Then the sequence cannot converge, right? Suppose for example, suppose for example if we have a sequence xn, suppose let us say it converges to 4. Suppose we have a subsequence, let us say it is xn plus, or let us say it is x2n, let us say this converges to 3. This cannot happen. If this happens, suppose let us say this x, suppose the next subsequence is 5 converges to 5. So if this happens, then this sequence cannot convergent, right? So if the subsequence converges to 2 different limit or 3 different limits or n different limit, the sequence cannot be convergent, right? Yes. So in order to show a sequence is not convergent, we can show that the subsequence has more than 2 or 3 limits, so therefore it cannot be convergent. The subsequence of the sequence will be convergent if the all subsequence converges to a same number. Suppose if we show that suppose there are subsequence that converge to different limits, then the sequence cannot be convergent, right? Yes. So let us consider the problem now. So we have the sequence as xn is equal to sine n pi by 2. Let us consider this is a sequence, right? Let us for as a moment, let us omit 8 now. So let us consider the sequence sine n pi by 2, right? So this is our sequence now. Now what will be our x1? Our x1 is nothing but sine pi by 2, right? So sine pi by 2 is nothing but 1, right? Yes. So what will be our x2? It is sine 2 pi by 2, right? So sine 2 pi by 2 what? It is nothing but sine pi, right? So sine 2 pi by 2 which is 0. So what will be our x3? Our x3 is nothing but sine 3 pi by 2 which is minus 1, right? And what will be our x4? Our x4 is nothing but sine 2 pi, right? Or sine 4 pi by 2, sine n pi is 0. So what will be our x5? Our x5 is sine 5 pi by 2 and sine 5 pi by 2 is 1. And what will be our x6? It is sine 6 pi by 2 which is again 0 as it is equal to sine 3 pi. And what will be our x7? It is sine 7 pi by 2, so which is again equal to minus 1. And what will be our x8? It is sine 8 pi by 2, which is sine 4 by it is equal to 0. So therefore the sequence does not have a limit, because you can see it oscillates between 1 0 minus 1 1 0 minus 1. That is, the terms you can show that this is not convergent in two ways. This is one of the way, right? So I'm going to show this sequence is not convergent by two ways. So the first way is, so this is way 1. So way 1, so the terms of the sequence, the terms will continue to alternate. The terms will continue to alternate from, it goes on from minus 1 to 0, sorry, minus 1 to 0 and 0 to 1, right? It goes on, you can see minus 1 to 0, 0 to 1, and again it goes back to 1 to 0, minus 1. So you can see that it oscillates 1 0 minus 1. So therefore it cannot converge. This is one of the way, right? So I'll show you another way also. The sequence is not convergent. So we know that I'm going to use this theorem now. What theorem is that? If the subsequence has different limit points, then the sequence cannot converge. The subsequence has different limits, then the sequence cannot converge. I'm going to use this result now. So in general, if I try to generalize these terms, so if I try to generalize these terms, what I will have is that in general, the value of sine n pi by 2 will be 0 if n is equal to 2k, right? So if n is a multiple of 2, then we have sine n pi, right? Sine 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi. So that's why for n is equal to 6 and for n is equal to 4, we have 0. And it will be 1 if n is equal to 4k plus 1, right? N is equal to 4k plus 1. So let us fix k is equal to 0 here. If k is equal to 0, what we will have? N is equal to 1. So if n is equal to 1, sine pi by 2. Sine pi by 2 is 1. If k is equal to 1, we will have sine 5 pi by 2, which is again 1. So, and it will be minus 1 if n is equal to 4k, sorry, this is 4k minus 1, right? So it will be minus, if the pattern is like this, you will get minus 1. So if we try to generalize system, we will have. Now what is our sequence now? Our sequence xn is sine n pi by 2, right? Sine n pi by 2. So that is our sequence is, so if I substitute n is equal to 1, I'll have, or if n is equal to 0, I'll have the first term as sine 0 pi by 2. And the second term will be, if n is equal to 1, I'll have sine pi by 2. And the third term will be sine 2 pi by 2. If I go, this sequence will go on like this, right? So it will be, we cannot have 0 here because n varies from 1 to, because n is n, we should fix n from, we should start with n is equal to natural number. So this will be sine, and it will be 3 pi by 2, and it will be sine 4 pi by 2, and these are our terms of the sequence, right? Now I'm going to choose a subsequence. I'm going to choose subsequence x2k, right? So x2k will be what? I'm going to choose a subsequence, that is, I'm going to select a subset which is of the form 2k. So what we will have here? What we will have here is sine 2 pi and sine 4 pi and sine 6 pi, sine 8 pi. Right, these are the terms you will have in this sequence, and I'm going to choose a term like x 4k plus 1. So here we will have what? If n is k is equal to 0, I'll have sine pi by 2. If k is equal to 1, I'll have sine 5 pi by 2, and this will be sine 9 pi by 2, etc. And I'm going to choose another subsequence x 4k minus 1, right? So if k is equal to 1, we will have sine 3 pi by 2, and if k is equal to 2, we will have sine 7 pi by 2, etc. So I consider 3 subsequence. So you can see that this subsequence converges to 0, right? this subsequence converges to what? 1, and this subsequence converges to minus 1. So we have different limits for subsequence. So therefore our sequence cannot converge, right? So we can also use this theorem also. So since our subsequence has different limits, so since the subsequence has different limits, the sequence cannot converge. Sequence cannot converge, right? So it doesn't matter if we have 8 in the denominator here, right? So it is nothing but sin n pi by 8. So since this is not convergent, this also is not convergent. So if you have to choose this for sin n pi by 8, you just have by 8 by 8 by 8 to all the terms, and here also we have by 8 by 8 by 8. So we'll have 1 by 8 minus 1 by 8, right? That doesn't matter. So therefore sequence will not be convergent. So that's it. So in the next video what I'm going to do is I'm going to solve, these are very easy sum. We have this problem repeated many times in just 10 years of question paper that we solved now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show in different way, right? So far we have differentiated x square sin 1 by x in u by v method. So u into v method. I'm going to use a definition to tell this. So that's it. We'll see in the next video. Goodbye. Thank you.